Hi, everyone. Welcome to our poster on student-led improvement and oversight of diversity and inclusion initiatives in an MD PhD program. Manuel and I are students at the Feinberg School of Medicine in the Medical Scientist Training Program, or MSTP. As many of you may know, professional programs like MD PhDs tend not to have a lot of diversity of sex, gender, or different aspects of identity. This has consequences for career outcomes of underrepresented minorities, or URMs, in medicine and academia. We all saw in 2020 how the dual epidemics of sociopolitical unrest and COVID-19 have brought social disparities to the forefront of our minds. In order to support our own community, we created the Diversity and Inclusion Committee at the Feinberg School of Medicine, MSTP. The concept for this committee came from an initial group which created a survey in 2019 to evaluate trainee quality of life and comfort discussing issues of diversity and inclusion in research and medicine. We found that 31% of MSTP trainees did not feel appropriately prepared to engage with diversity and inclusion in science. There were also gaps in terms of the support for non-traditional students, students with low SES, and students asked for exposure to more diverse mentors, as well as more democratic student leadership. These formed the basis for our goals as a diversity and inclusion committee.
So the three main goals that we extrapolated from the 2019 survey results were the following. 1, to solicit student input and provide D&I training. 2, to assist in the equitable recruitment of applicants. And 3, to internally review D&I practices. These three goals then informed the creation of distinct task forces that had the goal of administering goal-oriented initiatives. The first task force, the training task force, synthesizes and administers training opportunities, such as in the case of this year, a diversity and inclusion book club. We read Fatal Invention by Dr. Dorothy Roberts, and we even had the pleasure of hosting Dr. Roberts for the book closing plenary. The second task force, the mentorship task force, arranges student representation to D&I conferences and recruits URM mentors for URM students. The recruitment task force creates resources for faculty interviewers that address, among other things, implicit bias and serves as a liaison between URM applicants and URM current students. The academic task force is currently compiling published literature on best D&I practices to provide evidence-based recommendations to our program leadership. Then we have the advocacy task force, which collaborates with administration to compose internal communications that address current social and political events concerning diversity and inclusion. This one in particular was very important during 2020, given the rapidly evolving nature of the social political unrest.
1 year after the initial survey, we resurveyed the student body of the NU MSTP. We were glad to find that an increased number of students felt prepared to appropriately engage with issues of diversity and inclusion in science. Notably, students felt just as comfortable in the program and they felt their identities were just as respected as in 2019, which addresses the concern of many program administrators that discussing these issues will decrease student comfort. Therefore, we recommend that every program consider a similar approach. In the future, we will be using the structure that Manuel outlined, as well as data-driven practices with faculty support to continue the good work we've been doing.
So in conclusion, our work through the DIC for the year that we've been working as a committee has really shown to us the importance of having the student body collaborate with administration when synthesizing and administering diversity and inclusion related initiatives. With that, we'd like to conclude and acknowledge the Northwestern MSTP faculty, the Northwestern's Office of Diversity and Inclusion, and all of the MSTP students that participated in the initiatives of the Diversity and Inclusion Committee. Thank you for tuning in.